What's up guys, it's Christian here, and today I have a video for you guys. It is about my 10 rules for teenagers. Listen, teenage years are a super hard time. It's a lot going on, a lot to deal with, and it's not something that I want you guys to go through alone. And so with this video, I want to give you what my teenage years taught me and what I would tell my younger self as a teenager. Okay, so starting with number one, be your authentic self. This is first for a huge reason. A lot of kids in high school, middle school will see people around them doing certain things, and they want to feel belonging, so they want to fit into what they're doing. And evolutionary, like literally, like don't feel bad if you have like a slight little want, I guess you would say, to fit in with people. Like evolutionarily, like when we had like caveman tribes and stuff, we would, if we felt lost, we would look to the tribe to like see what they were doing so that we could gain understanding for what we should be doing. We look to that as the example of what we should be doing. Now, what everybody else is doing is not always the best thing to do. All right, it took personal experience for me to realize that. So I'm saying this to say it is so literally will change your life for the better if you are living as your authentic self and not some facade that you think people will accept, not the facade that you think will fit in with people. You, not anything else but you, okay? And to emphasize this point, I will read from you a page from The Mamba Mentality by basketball legend Kobe Bryant. All right, so here it is. It says, when I was young, my mindset was image, image, image. I took that approach with the media. As I became more experienced, I realized that no matter what, people are going to like you or not like you. So be authentic and let them like you or not like you for who you actually are. At that point, I started keeping all of my answers blunt and straightforward. I would mix in some humor and sarcasm too. I think fans and reporters came to appreciate that, came to appreciate the real me. Right? You see this, like how Kobe Bryant went through, this sort of thing. When he realized, yeah, I want to say like, what I think the reporters would like to hear in this situation. But then he realized that like no matter, literally, and this is like so true, not just for athletes or anybody else, like everybody, no matter what you say, people will like you or not like you. So like Kobe says, let them not like you or like you for who you actually are. You will never please everybody in the universe. It is impossible, okay? So stop trying to do that. Be who you actually are. And then eventually people will come to appreciate the real you. And if some people don't appreciate the real you, that's fine. And I'll tell you from personal experience too, like if you need additional reason to be your authentic self, I think, like I remember Hamza really emphasized this point. If you are in a romantic relationship and you're like not being authentic, deep down it's really not satisfying to be in that relationship. But when you're with someone who loves you for who you truly are, and that only can happen if you act like your authentic self and not like anybody else, but who you are authentically. If you get someone who loves you for your authentic self, that is when true like happiness and fulfillment and everything comes. So be your authentic self. Forget about, I know we have all these influences of social media and all these things, and it's easy to fall into these things and be like, yeah, I want to be, like even when I'm recording videos, like I'm like, yeah, maybe I want to like talk a little bit more like this or like this. Be you, right? Because there is only one you. Nobody can be you but you, okay? So be you, be your authentic self. Now, I put this page in the book. I wrote down this first point somewhere, and then like started writing the outline for a new video after that. So I had to just now find where I wrote the rest of the tips for this video, and I found it. Number 2, explore your interests and challenge yourself. All right, take a deep dive into your curiosities. Like if you have an interest, let's say for example, if you think the saxophone sounds pretty cool and you're like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to play the saxophone. Try playing the saxophone, right? And this is how, like, through these little like curiosities and things, this is how you find your passion. And I'm telling you from personal experience. So when I was really young, I, just intrinsically, I guess, just really loved planes. Like when I was traveling with my family at a really young age, I would, tell my parents that I wanted to go, like, let's sit by the window so that I can watch all the planes go by. Sorry, excuse me. So I was like, so infatuated with planes that I wanted to do that. When I got a little older, around the age of 9 or so, I, got a DVD, received it from my parents, and it had like, different stuff on the DVD, like talking about these different things like construction and things like that. And so I was just like, I would like rewatch and rewatch and rewatch the thing that was about planes. And so then when I was around like 12 or 13, I was like, I really love planes. I want to learn more about them. I want to learn I want to learn the different types of planes that there are, so that when I see a plane take off, in the air, etc., I can name it. And so that's what I did. I studied the different types of planes that there are, commercial aircraft, of course, because like if you were to fly like from LAX to JFK, that's the Los Angeles International Airport, to the New York International Airport, like the planes that you would see at like those types of airports. So, and in doing that, I've found that I have a huge passion for aviation. And so I let that determine, help me determine what I wanted to study when it came time to go to college. And so I decided that I, being as, math focused and, fascinating with the building of things that I am, I, started studying mechanical engineering at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, so that in the future I can become an aeronautical engineer and an engineer for planes, the commercial aircraft that, I see flying in the sky. And so now I've transferred to a new school, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and it is the number one where I'm now studying aerospace engineering and they have an aeronautical track and an astronautical track, and I'm studying on the aeronautical track. And it's the number one aerospace engineering school in the country. And I'm not saying this to brag about like how, smart I am or whatever. I'm saying that because this would have never happened if I didn't take the time to say, hey, I'm a little passionate about this thing. I want to learn a little bit more about it. Through exploring your interests, that's how you find your passion, right? You explore and you explore and you explore until you find true love and happiness and fulfillment in something. Just like I found true passion in basketball. And as much as I, kick myself for not doing, what was required to get at the level that I wanted to get at, I'm truly, truly grateful that I had the experience of playing basketball through my middle school and high school years, right? Like I discovered basketball just because I think that's what parents would do is just, put their kid in different sports and see what they like, right? And so I really took a liking to basketball. And so I played since I was 6 years old. After that, there was not a time in my life where basketball wasn't a part of my life. Even when I'm in college, I still, play pickup and stuff and dominate, but I say that because even though I've played basketball a lot throughout my adolescent years and I've practiced a lot and I don't have anything to show for it yet, But I'm grateful that I pursued that I pursued the possibility of playing in the NBA. You know why? Even though I have like, like if we were to like point, like it's like very, very far, right? Perceivably to, in the eyes of others, that I am from the NBA. But I'm grateful for having played basketball, because even if I never touch a basketball again, it's taught me so much in life, and it's helped me so much as a person, right? The second I got to school, I worked like a madman. I went balls to the wall in my studies. I worked extremely hard, did what was required to get good grades, and now I'm in the #1 aerospace engineering school in the country, right? Because I used what basketball taught me to help me in life, and it will help me for the rest of my life. And that's a blessing, a huge blessing that can come from pursuing your passions. And keep in mind, basketball is not the only thing that can do this. Like pursuing a dream in any capacity, like I'm talking like a big dream that like people would like, yeah, you're crazy for thinking that. Yeah, like, of course the goal is to achieve it, right? But even if you don't, it will shape you as a person, and it's truly amazing what it can help you with. And so that's why I encourage you. I didn't just say explore your interests. I said explore your interests and challenge yourself, because just like how basketball challenged me and helped me grow as a person, right? Like because of like the hard work and discipline and consistency that it takes to be good at basketball. Now I'm like, dude, if I like really want to like do good in school, I have to apply that, right? And so, and as I said, basketball is not the only thing that can teach you these things. I hear a lot of people talk about how just working out, lifting weights really help them with this kind of stuff. So dude, I was reaching for my water. I forgot to put it on this side. Before we go to point number 3, I'm gonna get a sip. Okay. Number 3, give it your all. Okay? Many will hold back, and I wrote this in here. Many will hold back because it's scary to and I heard Kobe Bryant say this, by the way. Many will hold back because it's scary to give it your all and fail. You can't do this, right? It's honestly, like there's like, times where I was like, dude, what if I like, give all this effort into basketball and like nothing happens of it? Now I've found out the result of giving it my all in basketball and nothing happening of it. It shaped my character. That's not so bad. So I didn't even plan on saying that, but like let it be known that giving it your all in anything productive towards your future is not gonna harm you in any way. Don't think that giving your all in anything is gonna harm you. In fact, it's like the people who give it their all that actually achieve. Like think about this for a second. Let me like catch my breath and stop like making jokes and laughing and stuff. A lot of people fear, like, and it's a legit fear, that if you give it your all in something and you don't get what you want, it's a scary thought. But think about it. Like, if you were to actually give it your all, it's the people who give it their all that achieve success. So don't be afraid that giving your all is going to be like a means to no end. It's going to be like a road that you go down and then the road reaches a dead end, right? Giving your all will get you success, period. Okay? And I forgot to mention this, but this is really important. I played basketball at prep school after I graduated college. Played a post-grad year is what they call it. And so my coach said something that I'll never forget, and I'll put it in this video. He said, I'm paraphrasing here. Like after a workout early in the morning, we ran hills, and he in his post-workout talk, he was telling us, he was like, this will end. You're not always gonna play basketball. Like, this will end. But in the end, you need to know that you've given it everything you had. And that stuck with me for a long time. And I remember a while down the road, and it was a tough year, to get recruited. It was after COVID, but he was like asking us, like, how many of y'all think, you know, even if like I'm not able to get recruited or whatever, like I've done everything possible. I couldn't say yes, and nor could most of my teammates. And he tells us, our coach tells us, he's like, that's a problem. If I'm trying to put y'all out here and y'all can't even like look me in the eye and say that you're giving it everything you have, that's not good. So let it be known that if you want success, it's going to require you to give everything you have. And so be and so give everything. And I laugh because like even there will be times, and I've had it myself, where you think you've given it everything. You can give more. I'm on the wrong page. All right, and so to continue with this point of give it your all, I wish I had this kind of effort when I was younger, right? Pursuing the MBA. And that's why I go so hard in school, right? And if I'm like, it's rare if ever that I'm not, studying or in class or whatever. Like I have, back at UNLV, I had friends tell me like, dude, every time I see you, you are either like, you're on your way to class, you're on your way to tutoring, you're on the way to the library, something in regards to school, right? And that's just personal drive. That's just knowing that if I give it everything I have, I'm gonna get what I want. And so start now, right? Start now. Don't be like me, who's like, hey, like between 18 and 20 years old, hey, if I give, if I would have given it everything I had, I really would have become, I would have become really successful. Start now. Now is the time, okay? Second best time was yesterday. Best time was a long time ago, and the second best time is right now. Number 4, know that this too shall pass. Okay? This is a phrase, dude, I totally forget who said the phrase, and it was like repeated in this meditation video that I, watch occasionally. Right, I meditate every day, but the company is called Calm. I'm sure you've like seen their advertisements on TV. They have like different themes for the meditation videos. So one of them like mentioned this quote, right? That this too shall pass. And it's so true. And I've found that to be real in my life. Like whenever I'm going through like something bad, like it's important. Eventually I've observed that it passed, right? Like, and especially with, temptations, like I'm a godly man. I strive to stray away from sin and grow closer to God, right? Like temptation to sin eventually passes, right? But I say that because it's important to have this mindset in your teenage years, because these are truly tough times, right? And it's truly tough, like literally just because of your age, it's tough to be alive right now. Like I remember reading on Quora, I read this in I think it was a comment section or a meme, perhaps, on Instagram. And then I ended up seeing it again in a YouTube comment section. It's like, and it said that teens have, they feel so like, depressed and everything because they're expected, like they're treated like children and expected to act like adults. Like think about it. Like and I remember reading that and like relating to it so much. Treated like children and expected to act like results. It expected to act like adults. It's a hard reality. And it's something that I never want to go back to. And especially I remember reading from Quora, like some guy was like, man, why are teens like all like moody and depressed and all like this kind of stuff? Like, Okay, and someone responded to them and they're like, okay, so let me break this down. So like they're in school like literally all day, then they have like homework, then they want to, pursue extracurriculars, then, maybe they're first to work, and then, but like no one gives them respect just because of their age. And they do so much and try so hard, but don't get respect. It's a hard time to live in, okay? And I wrote in here, as a teen, you routinely get dirt thrown on you. I routinely got dirt thrown on me, all right? A lot of like coaches, teachers, they don't think that you can like really, like even like you're like, yeah, just like a lot of people in general, even your own peers, right? Even your own friends, right? Who will call you, who will you're like, yeah, I'm your friend, but they like talk about about you behind your back and like say good things to your face. A lot of people will throw dirt on you during these times. It's tough, and it will shake you to your core, and make you wonder why God has put you on this earth. It did for me. But you need to know that this too shall pass. All right, in the same sentence that I just told you just now. As a teen, you routinely get dirt thrown on you. That's the truth. Brush it off and keep striving for greatness, right? That's what you got to do as a teen. You got to get dirt thrown on you, and you got to brush it off and keep going. Get dirt thrown on you, brush it off and keep going. Get dirt thrown on you, brush it off and keep going. Because what else can you do, right? And another quote that I didn't write in this outline, but is so relevant. So relevant. I kind of like tripped on my words, and when I heard it, it kind of sounded like irrelevant. But this quote, and it's by a world-renowned motivational speaker by the name of Eric Thomas. You've probably heard of him. And he said this. He said, "Pain is temporary. It will last for an hour, or a day, or even a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever." Don't quit, guys, because if you quit, the pain will last forever. Whether you quit basketball, or you quit school, or you quit life. Don't quit. Keep going. I promise you, if you keep going, something good will come on the other side, okay? And that's my last point in this, in this too shall pass, is that whatever you're going through, keep going and you will get through it. I didn't think that there was like anything, like when I was a teen, I didn't think that there was like anything more to life than what was happening right in front of me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It couldn't be further from the truth. I'm at my dream school studying for my passion. And even though things didn't go the way I want to do with basketball, I have a purpose. And now I've like improved my life so much. And now I'm making YouTube videos teaching others the things that I wish someone told me. There's blessing in front of your struggles. And I made another video talking about this. And now that I think about it, I'll remember to link it into the description. All right, I'm gonna hold myself to that. It talks about how, your struggles have a purpose, right? And if you're spiritual, there's a Bible verse that talks about it. It's Romans 8:28. You've probably heard of it. And basically in the video, I went on to talk about how there was a guy from my church who I heard talk about his story, and he had been through so much and had gotten, so low in life and, overcame it and became like a really active guy in the church, and one who like really truly like embodies, Christ and is ambassador of Christ, and has really helped me grow in my spiritual walk. And like, I remember, hearing his story and just being so touched by the fact that his struggles had a purpose. He wouldn't be who he is without it. it shaped him for good because it helped me, right? And he's helped others. So let it be known that if you're struggling right now, your struggles have a purpose, okay? They're not here to stay. They will pass eventually, but you have to keep going and put every effort towards your goals every day in order for your struggles to pass and for you to see the sunshine over the horizon. So don't quit. Keep going. All right? This too will pass, but keep going. Number 5, be respectful. All right? Listen, I don't know how it came about, but a lot of kids you guys' age are not respectful. They don't treat teachers, like, even though there's like some sucky teachers, they don't treat teachers with respect. Some don't even treat their parents with respect, and it's not cool. It's not, even like to your peers, like your actual like friends, it's not cool to be disrespectful. All right, it's not. All right, so being respectful will literally separate you from like 90% of kids your age. And so continue to educate yourself on, the ways to demonstrate, respect towards others, because you demonstrate respect towards others, you'll get respect back. All right, and even though like your friends may not realize it, like your parents will realize it. Your authority figures in life will realize it, and they'll consider you highly simply because you show respect. It's a lost art these days. So you show respect, it'll work wonders for you. All right? And just a few things that I wrote down here. Have a firm handshake, make direct eye contact, yes sir, no ma'am, enunciate your words, don't use profanity, please and thank you, and be kind. Just a few ways to show respect. So just by me saying those things alone, you get the idea. This is how people deserve to be treated. And so you treat people in this manner, you'll get treated the same way back. All right? Treat others the way that you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. Okay? And as I said, I'm reading my points to make sure that I covered everything. And as it says in here, and I just said right now, showing respect to people makes you more respectable. Number 6, don't be afraid of failure and learn from your mistakes. Before I elaborate on that, let me get some water. And I reached for the right side, okay? Okay. So don't be afraid of failure and learn from your mistakes. I've talked about the importance of not being afraid of failure in a different video. It's called Don't Be Afraid of Failure. I'll be sure to link that. You know what? I should write this down somewhere. What did I'll remember to link the videos. Okay, so your struggles have a purpose. And I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna write this stuff down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so real quick, before I get into the rest of point number 6, gotta write this. Your struggles have a purpose. And don't be afraid of failure. Okay, so I put that was funny. I got so scared because I like looked in my surroundings here and I didn't see this book right here. I put it on my bed. Okay, so don't be afraid of failure and learn from your mistakes. In the video, Don't Be Afraid of Failure, which I will remember to link because I wrote it down. I talked about why it's important to not be afraid of failure. And I realized that from personal experience in high school. It was my junior year. I was playing basketball, and early on, I shied away in practice. I didn't want to take shots. I didn't want to have the ball in my hands simply because I was afraid that I was gonna do something wrong with the ball, that I might turn it over, I might miss a shot, da 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 da. I didn't want to fail. And it was during that time, beginning of the season, I was one of the last guys on the bench. And so then it really hit me that dude, if I want not just anything in basketball, but anything in life, I can't be afraid of failure because it just happens. All right? Number one and number two right here. One, it happens. You don't succeed all the time. And that's that. Number two, you need failure, okay? You need it. Because why? Failure teaches something you need to help you succeed, and it pushes you to get better, right? I remember hearing Tom Platz say this. He's a bodybuilder, and he said, no one wants to push themselves to failure. No one wants to take it that far because it's too scary. And it was too scary for me. And so when I realized that failure is not such a bad thing and that I need failure in order to grow, that's when I got better. And that's when I moved up in my rotation. I went from bottom of the bench to 6-man starter, simply because I eliminated the fear of failure. I came to terms that I'm not gonna be successful all the time, and that's okay, all right? So, and that's the last thing that I said for number 6. Your failures and mistakes can be your greatest tools for growth if they're used the right way, right? If you learn from your failures and let them motivate you to become better, then failure's a gift. Failure's a win in that case. If you're able to turn it around and learn from it and use it to motivate you and work towards success after that loss, now failure just became your ally. So make it your ally. Number 7, have enormous belief in yourself. And for this point, I'm gonna link a video that I watched. It's from a guy named Dre Baldwin. He talks about personal development, and I relate to him a lot because he played basketball, college and pro. And the video is called How to Be So Confident That They Call You Cocky and Arrogant. And I'm literally gonna link it into my description because it changed my life. I'm not even exaggerating about that. And so the central point in this video was that you become what you believe in yourself. And that if humble, the one definition of humble is that you think of yourself as less than you actually are. And that, but the definition of humble, the way I think of it and the way that if I would ever tell you, to be humble, what I don't mean by that, I don't mean to say, to think less of yourself than you actually are, because truly you need to think way more of yourself than you actually are. And because he went on to say this in this point. Now, I'll get to what I think is the real, I'm not even gonna say the real, just how you should think of the good way to think about humility, humility in a good way. So, but anyways, before I get off topic and lose myself in random words and all that blabbering, and I need a sip of water. So I'll get to what the right way to be humble is like. But in this video, he talked about 2 kinds of thinking. There's humble and there's arrogant. Humble, in a certain sense, in a certain definition, is thinking yourself to be less than you actually are. And then arrogant is thinking yourself to be more than you actually are. But what happens is that you, and this is like principle, this is like human nature, this is psychology, whatever you want to call it, this is real, that you become what you believe in yourself. Okay? So if you're humble, you are this, but you believe yourself to be that, then you're gonna drop down to that level. That's a point that Dre was making. But if you're arrogant and you are this, but you believe yourself to be this, you rise to that level. See what happens? So this is why you need to have enormous belief in yourself, because if you believe yourself to be, amazing and more than you actually are, you'll get to that point. You will. And but the thing is, and this is something that I lacked for a long time, is you need to not just believe that you are at that, let me illustrate an example to demonstrate this point. It's not enough for me to say, like, if I'm a 10-point per game player in basketball and I just believe myself to be a 20-point per game player, that's not enough, right? I need to believe myself to be a 20-point per game scorer. Even though I'm still a 10-point per game scorer, I need to believe myself to be a 20-point per game scorer, and then continue to put in the work that's required to be a 20-point per game scorer. That is what the main point of Dre's video, and why I'm emphasizing it to you, because you get this down, it's gonna be amazing for you, okay? As I said, what you believe is what you become. I'm reading off these points. Even while you are trying to become that, even when you're trying to, like in my example, even if I was trying to become a 20-point per game scorer, I need to literally think, walk, talk, and act as if I am that, right? That's the kind of belief, not just belief that you are that, but literally identifying yourself as that, okay? And so, as I said, on top of that, put in the work that's required to become that. Now, I want to mention another thing that I learned from somebody else that really resonates with this point that I'm trying to make. So Taylor Allen is this guy's name, and he has a channel on YouTube called Deep Game. And there's 8 laws of the deep game. It's, something to where that you master, like it's advertised as play the mental part of the game, master the mental part of the game, because it's not just enough to master the physical part of the game. You want to go to the next level, you have to master the mental part. And so, I need water again. And so what Taylor Allen said in a video was something I'll never forget. He said that it's, kind of been conditioned to us in society that we have to go through a bunch of pain and suffering and time and all this type of things to, get to a certain level. And part of it is true, of course, we need to work hard and we need to, go through things in order to become successful. But let it be known that we experience the success, and this is what Taylor Allen said, we experience the success that we believe we deserve, okay? So even though, and just like Jerry Baldwin said, even though you think, you may think in your mind, I can't be a 20-point per game scorer, I need to do all these workouts and go through all this time and this and this and this and this other thing. Believe that you are that, because if you're doing the work required to be a 20-point per game scorer, but actively in your mind you don't believe that you're there yet, you'll never be a 20-point per game scorer. You need to believe that you are a 20-point per game scorer, and then continue to put work towards that. But the belief comes first. Without the belief, you won't have it, period. And so that's something that I really lacked, and this is why I'm getting so turned up and passionate about it, because I really lacked believing that I was at a certain level before, even though even though if I wasn't a 20-point per game scorer, I had a problem with believing I was a 20-point per game scorer, even though if I looked at my stats online, it would not say 20 PPG, points per game. So let it be known that if you want to achieve success in any way, you need to literally believe that you are that right now. And literally walk, talk, act, think, identify, all that stuff as what you want. And then continue to put in the work to get there. That's success for you. Number 8, hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself to a high standard and be hard on yourself, okay? I remember seeing this guy say in an Instagram reel, he was like, if you're hard on yourself, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember exactly how he said it, but he was like, if you're hard on yourself, you can dominate. But if you're easy on yourself, you will be dominated by those who are hard on themselves, right? Look at the people you admire. They are hard on themselves. They have extremely high standards for themselves, and it'll be the death of them if they fall below those standards. It's tough to think that way about yourself and about your life, but it's how you gotta be if you want to be successful. Be hard on yourself. Don't let yourself, yes, you won't always be, this amazing disciplined guy or girl all the time, right? You'll have days where you just don't feel like doing the work, where you don't think that you're all that. Have, the high standards for yourself and be hard on yourself so that no matter how you feel, you do what's required of yourself. You do what's required of yourself no matter what. Why? Because you're hard on yourself and you hold yourself to high standards. And I also wrote, the people who are where you want, just like what I said, the people who are where you want to be got there by holding themselves to a high standard and being hard on themselves. Maybe I need another sip of water. All right, and that's the other thing, is holding yourself accountable. Dre Baldwin, the guy with the how to be so confident that they call you cocky and arrogant. I remember hearing him say in a video, he was like, I grew up with a parent like this. And I related to that video because I also grew up with parents like this, who he was talking about if he did something at school, he would be like, well, everybody else did it. But his mom would be like, well, I don't care that everybody else did it. You did it. You fell below the standards of which we raised you, right? So it's that kind of accountability for yourself. Everybody else can be lazy in this regard. Everybody else can do the opposite of what would get them success, but not me. I'm different, okay? It's that kind of accountability that you need, right? Forget about everybody else, but you need to hold yourself accountable towards doing what is required for your goal every single day. Okay. Number 9, be curious and ask questions. And for this point, I'm gonna go right back into Mamba Mentality by Kobe Bryant to illustrate this point. Okay, so here it says, I was curious. I wanted to improve, learn, and fill my head with the history of the game. No matter who I was with, a coach, a Hall of Famer, teammate, and no matter the situation, game, practice, vacation, I would fire away with question after question. A lot of people appreciated my curiosity and passion. They appreciated that I wasn't just asking to ask. I was genuinely thirsty to hear their answers and glean new info. Some people, meanwhile, were less understanding and gracious. That was fine with me. My approach was that my approach always was that I'd rather risk embarrassment now than be embarrassed later when I've won 0 titles. Wow. That's the importance of being curious and asking questions. Is that because Kobe's curiosity helped him achieve more success, right? He said in there, like, I'd rather be embarrassed by asking a whole bunch of questions than be embarrassed by having 0 titles, right? And now he has 5 titles. 5. Similarly, there are people who can help you if you ask them questions, right? And maybe your parents, maybe those around you. Maybe there's like one of your friends who, is really charismatic. He's really got this thing going on where he just talks effortlessly in conversation and he's so magnetic. Ask that person how they develop that. You get what I'm saying right here? So even be curious, and that will help you to learn more and know more, so that you continue to make progress towards becoming the best version of yourself. In addition to that, you are always a Google or a YouTube search away from learning something new. And finally, number 10, strive to make a positive impact. I realized somewhere down the line that no matter if I played in the NBA and was amazing in the NBA, or if I wasn't amazing in the NBA, if I, did amazing in school or did not so good in school, if this YouTube channel never does anything or if it blows up, what matters most is that I make a positive impact on those around me. All right? More than anything I could accomplish, what will be remembered when I die is how I impacted those around me. And it will be the same for you. Use your God-given gifts. I wrote this down right here. Use your God-given gifts, knowledge, and experiences to help those around you. All right? Everything that you've, just like how I've gone through my teenage years, and I've learned things, and I've experienced things, and now I'm sitting here making a 47-minute video, giving all the knowledge that I could give to you guys to help you. And I know this is helpful. I'm listening to myself speak, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. And it's not just me who thinks this, okay? My uncle had told me, he was like, dude, I've been watching your videos, and I'm way older than you, and I'm learning stuff from you, right? I've got my friends telling me how they're really impacted by my videos. This is what happens when you decide to use what's been given to you to make a positive impact on others. And of course, I had limited beliefs about what I could do with this channel, what I could do, talking on YouTube. Even still, with other things, I have limiting beliefs, but I have to push past that. Why? Because I've got something. God gave me something. God gave me something. And I'm gonna use it for good, okay? And to further illustrate the story, further illustrate this point, I'll talk to you about how there's this guy on the campus of UNLV, older man. He worked as a nuclear physicist, and now he tutors on the campus of UNLV, for free. He just has a classroom. He's, there 2 days a week for 2 hours each day. And people come in and they ask for his help with physics problems. And he's amazing. A problem that I'm okay, I don't even know where to start with this. He's just he just picks it out and explains it beautifully. And but I say all that because it was really inspiring to hear. One time he was talking to me and he was like, having worked as a nuclear physicist, I did that, now I'm retired, now I live a comfortable life. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna go to the grave with so much physics knowledge like, there's so many people who could benefit from this, right? There's so many people who could benefit from what I've learned and experienced. And the same is true for you. I know that, all right? So strive to make a positive impact. That's the most important thing. More important than anything you could achieve is the impact that you leave on those around you. So I hope this video helped you a lot. It's something that I'm really passionate about, helping teenagers to become the best versions of themselves. And, just being able to put, as I said, like everything that I've learned and experienced into a video that I get to share with the world. So I know this is you don't want to hear all this, but dude, if you like the video, please leave a like, because then the YouTube algorithm is going to be like, hey, this guy's content is pretty good. More people need to hear what this guy's saying, and that means a lot. Okay. And then I do, I have some videos that I've linked in the description, and more will be coming out. So subscribe if you want to see those. I love y'all. Take care. Keep going.